Hey, FYE Finance family, welcome to this edition of Flip It with Samara, another tutorial edition. So, this series has been all about tools that I have created and that I have used in my personal life and that have given me a lot of success in planning, right, along my financial journey. That I wanted to give those tools to you, right? I wanted to share those tools with you in hopes that they give you the same success, if not more, okay? Or at least some insight, right? And some education, some background on some different terms that I'm going to be throwing around as well, because with all of my tools, I try to give you some introduction before we jump right into it, right? So tonight's tool is a tool that I get so giddy about because it's about retirement planning. And every time I talk about retirement planning and I think about all the things that I want to do in my retirement and how soon that could happen for me, I get super, super excited, right? Because listen, I'm not trying to do this for the rest of my life. I'm sure some of you feel the same way. You don't want to do what you're currently doing for the rest of your life, but you also want to be able to enjoy your life in retirement. And so, a part of that means that you have to plan for it, right? If you know that there's a certain lifestyle you want to maintain, then you have to make sure that you have the funds to do so, okay? So, this next tool, right, is helping us do just that. I love it because I also do a coaching session with a lot of small business owners, especially those that are starting out or those that are trying to pivot into something else. Like, we actually have a program where we coach small business owners. And so this is one of the tools that we talk about because I think as small business owners, sometimes we get inundated with the day to day and we're so focused on growing the business, making the money that we forget about planning for ourselves. Like, we forget that there has to be an extra exit strategy, right? And so that's what retirement planning is. It's planning for your exit strategy, right? Again, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. So just as if you were working for someone, right? If you were working for an employer, you would contribute to a thing like a 401k or an IRA, right? So you should have that same thought process even as a small business owner, okay? You can still contribute to retirement plans as a small business owner. Work on your exit strategy, all right? So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. It is an Excel spreadsheet, so I always want to make sure that I preface that and give you forewarning. All the tools that you are going to be seeing in this series definitely going to be in Excel because that's my comfort area. Okay. I love Excel. I love playing in it. It gives me joy. And so it gave me a lot of joy creating some of these tools. So I hope you can feel that joy as I'm presenting these tools week over week. All right. So let's jump right into it. So this is our retirement calculator tool. All right. Very, very simple tool. Very easy to maneuver around in. Right. And so I even give some kind of insight on your retirement planning, right? And how compounding interest is your best friend in this scenario, okay? And so this calculator is designed to do that, to just show you how if you start at an early age, your money works harder for you because you can utilize things like compounding interest. And compounding interest means that the money that is growing, now you are earning interest on that money. Okay. So you're earning interest on top of interest on top of interest. That's why it's called compounding. Okay. Keeps growing. All right. So the tool does ask you like a few questions, right? Like it asks you, what is your current age? Be very honest when you're using the tool, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to get some accurate results, right? So be honest when you're using the tool. I'm not going to tell my age. So I'm going to put the age of someone. I'm going to put the age that I wish I was when I discovered this tool. How about that? So I'm going to put that I'm 21. And then it's going to ask, like, at what age do you want to retire? Most people retire, what, at 65, 62 now? But let's say you want to retire early. Let's say you want to retire at 55, right? So you put that in there. So now the tool is saying, okay, based on the information that you've put in, you have 34 years right, to contribute to this retirement fund. So now it's asking, how much are you planning to contribute to the retirement fund every year? So if you are using something like an IRA, there are caps. Okay, there are maximums that you can contribute every year. I believe it's up to like 6,500 now. If you are using like a 401k, I believe that goes up to 18,000 a year, or a percentage of your salary. I can't remember the percentage cap, but definitely make sure that you are aware of those. So let's just say, to keep everything safe, we're going to say, hey, we're not going to contribute more than 6,000 per year, right? So then it's going to ask you, about how much interest do you think you're going to earn yearly? All right. So now this is where it gets kind of tricky. What I would suggest you do is see what the market has been trending at over the past 20 years and use that as a baseline. I think the last time I looked, the stock market, and the reason why I say that, let me back that up. So the reason why I say see what the market has been trending at is because when you open up these retirement plans, a 401k, a IRA, what they're doing is they are investing a portion of your money into stocks, into bonds. Okay. When you buy a lot of these retirement plans, they have what they call mutual funds that they use in order to, I guess, invest your money. And so a mutual fund is pretty much a portfolio that is managed by another person. That's why it costs you to have these plans, because you have to pay for someone to manage the actual portfolio. Okay. So, being that this person is managing this portfolio for you, they are going to manage it based upon your risk. So, when you open up these plans, they're going to ask you questions like, what age do you want to retire? They're going to ask you some of these same questions. They're going to ask you, like, how much risk are you willing to take? Do you want an aggressive retirement? Because they're trying to see which portfolio you should fit into. Okay. So based on those answers, they're going to create this portfolio for you that's going to have a mixture of stocks and bonds and maybe some other financial instruments to help mitigate the risk that you're willing to take on. Okay. So with that being said, when you are looking at what percentage to put here, I would put a percentage that is kind of been trending along the past 20 years for the stock market. So I think the last time I looked, it was 8%. Now we all know that the stock market took like a deep dive over the past few months. And so a lot of us probably have lost some money in our retirement plans or other investments that we are making. So you definitely also want to take that in consideration, where the stock market may have been performing at like 14, 15%. And now it's performing probably at like 3 to 5. I haven't looked. So again, that 8% kind of meets you in the middle, right? Because we do know this about the market. It goes down, but it's also going to go back up, right? So let's be conservative and let's say 6%, right? We're going to be conservative. And so now the calculator says, okay, so based on that, based on your 34 years of contribution, at $6,000 per year, you're going to contribute $204,000 to this account, right? Over the life of this account. Now, this is where that compounding interest is your friend. So now this is calculating what your retirement savings would be based on the yearly interest that is being earned, and then also the interest that you're earning on top of that income that you earned based off of interest. Right? So compounding interest. So it is saying, hey, if you retire at the age of 55 and you started at 21, contributing $6,000 a year, at a yearly interest earning of 6%, this is what you're going to retire with in your pocket. $1,479, $1,479,209.16, right? Now, I don't know about you, but I could live a pretty comfortable life if that was in my retirement account. especially providing that I had other things that I was also investing in, right? Because I always tell you, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So if this isn't one of your retirement accounts and you have other avenues that you are using also to supplement that retirement income, you should be able to live a pretty comfortable life, right? We're not talking about doing anything extravagant. We're just talking about living a life that you are accustomed to. Okay. And so, with this type of money being in one of your retirement accounts, should not have a problem at all. So, now you see, right, why I say the sooner you start, the harder your money works for you. Now, let's say that, we got a late start. We want to retire at age 55, but let's say we didn't start until 30. You see what happens, right? Same, contributing the same amount, percentage rate didn't change, but our years of contribution changed, which means that our principal contribution amount went down, which means what? Your savings went down as well. So definitely wanted to drive home, the goal here, and that's to start early, right? So this same tool is what I've shared with my kids. I've shared this with my teenager. I've shared this with my 20 plus. I won't say his exact age because y'all be guessing my age, but I shared this with my grown son. Also trying to encourage both of them to start at an early age, because the younger you start, right, the harder your money can work for you, right? And the less you have to work. Even if we change this back to 21, right, and we drop this down to, let's say, $4,000 a year, right? You're still almost a millionaire at the time that this happens, right? Sorry about that. So you're still almost a millionaire at the time you want to retire. Okay. So definitely something to consider, right? Doing this work early, starting this retirement planning early so that your money can work harder for you and you don't have to work as hard for your money. Okay. So hopefully you found this to be helpful, FYE Finance family. Thank you again for tuning in to the tutorial edition of Flip It with Samara. Again, just another tool to add to your arsenal. So I hope you're collecting them. I hope you're putting them all in a safe place. And you're referring back to these lives. You're referring back to this so that you can watch it in replay. Stop it, pause it where you need to, and join the group. When you join the group, definitely download the tools there, and feel free to ask questions within the group as well. Okay, so again, thank you for joining on this Tuesday evening. I hope you have a blessed and wonderful Tuesday, and until next time, see ya.